Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. This is going to be a really, really interesting segment. And it's going to be a segment it's going to be a live stream and a segment that's going to give you an understanding of why the Washington Post and others have looked at the IG report and stated, well, there's nothing to worry about. The Inspector General stated that there was no institutional bias. There's no institutional bias. You have nothing to worry about. It was above board. It was legal. In fact, not only was it legal, not only was it above board, but you know what? Michael Horowitz in the IG report didn't even find any evidence. John Durham has no evidence that they were trying to set up and frame Trump. So, all of those things that Trump and Trump allies were trying to, all those theories that they were trying to spread, there's no basis in reality. That's what they're going to say. Now, this is a very important segment because, and you should probably share this with people who want to counter the prevailing narrative that media is going to try to communicate. What took place was this. Very simple. Very simple. They utilized the United States government to investigate the potential of collusion between Trump's campaign and Russia. They did not have evidence. They didn't have what they call direct evidence, but they didn't even have evidence because the Steele dossier wasn't evidence. Anyone can write a dossier. Trump could write a dossier tomorrow about Biden, and then it could be called the Biden-Ukrainian dossier, and have Christopher Wray and Haspel look into the Biden-Ukrainian dossier and call it raw intelligence. But he wouldn't get it. There was no way that Trump could get away with that. So what they did was they hid behind protocol. Now, if you work in a corporation, the institution might have a mission, or the corporation might have a specific goal or mission statement, or a business that it's engaged in. The people within the corporation, or the government, or the business, or the bureaucracy, they're the ones who steer the ship. They're the ones who, if they wanted to, could single out certain people in the office, could decide to implement policies that were already decided upon by the board of directors in various ways. So, it's the people who are part of the organization that make up the organization. It's not the institution or the government or, the corporation. It's the people who make up the bureaucracy, that run the bureaucracy. When Inspector General Michael Horowitz states, well, there was no institutional bias. We didn't think that the FBI was trying to go after Trump. I mean, they were just doing what they're meant to do. Investigate. All they wanted to do was investigate. They just wanted to investigate. But why? Yeah, we know that the FBI investigates criminal activity. We know that they went after Trump's campaign under the guise of, well, he's committing potentially a major crime. The statute that they were going after Trump is the statute that they broke. It's the U.S. Code 371 statute that I talk about in the Federalist. So the issue is not, it's not whether Horowitz deems the institution to be biased against Trump. He doesn't even have really the authority or the information from what he's compiled to truly know if the institution itself was biased, because he's going to ask questions of people like Comey and Kleinsmith and Strzok, and they're going to say, well, we had to do this because we were really suspicious, and it's part of our job to be suspicious, and we thought that this was the case, and under our mandate, we thought that Trump could have worked with Russia because of this and that or this or that. But the thing is, they didn't have the evidence. So if the tables were turned and it was Hillary Clinton and Trump purchased a dossier against Clinton, they wouldn't have gone after it. They wouldn't have used that as raw intelligence. They would say this is obviously biased. Now we're finding out today, this was in the National Review, that the FBI didn't tell the FISA courts that it was unreliable. The Steele dossier was not only unreliable, but a political document. So they didn't tell the FISA courts this. And we also know that Kevin Kleinsmith, working under Peter Strzok, just went ahead and falsified information. So we already know these things. We already know these things. Then there are text messages. Stating we will stop Trump. There are anti-Trump text messages not only from Peter Strzok, not only from Lisa Page, two high-ranking FBI officials who were very close friends, but you're looking at a situation where everyone in Comey's organization, everyone everyone involved in making decisions had a bias against Trump. So obviously the organization and the institution had bias. When they say we'll stop Trump, when they don't even ask how Clinton was able to transfer and receive top secret and special access program intelligence on servers outside of the United States government, when they don't ask how that was even possible, they don't ask. When they don't ask how that's possible, they're covering up Clinton's crimes. They're covering up the criminal activity associated with running servers outside of the United States government for 4 years without anyone in the United States government being able to access those servers. The question is, why do you need servers outside of the United States government? Also, why would you utilize a dossier that is completely unverified? All you have to do is simply ask why. Now, I wrote in the Federalist that all roads lead through Madam Secretary. I wrote this. And Rush Limbaugh shared it on his show. Do not lie. Your eyes would look just like Schiff's every time. Oh my God! Wow, your eyes would look like Schiff's. Well, I guess thank you, but not. I don't know. Every time a demon pushed past. Okay. Wow, that is fantastic. But I do appreciate the support. Oh, yes. Only the best. Only the best in live chat experience on H.A. Goodman's other channel. Or no, this is my main channel. In the evening. Do not lie. Thank you. Thank you for the uplifting message. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. And I appreciate you watching since 2015. Thank you. Thank you. So anyway, let's let's get back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Thank you. Do not lie. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. So the concept this is the best tonight. Sticks 10.2. Schlonghammer, thank you. Hi, HA, hello. I love Sticks. Watch Sticks and Tim Pool every day. And others too. I love Anthony Bryan Logan, a whole bunch of other people. What is the 10.2 referring to? Don't even know. I wouldn't doubt it. So anyway, trying to be serious here. Can't you tell by the cutout pictures of sports icons behind me and my beanie that I'm very serious? Now, so anyway, what was I saying? Eric, H526, that's what I'm talking about. I hope all is well. So, thank you, Eric. Thank you as always for everything. Thanks, Eric. So, Sticks 10.2, Eric, and Do Not Lie, they're going to try to frame it as, well, we're just following leads. I mean, we were given a dossier. What were we supposed to do with it? We were following leads. We leave no stone unturned. And the DNC emails forced Debbie Wasserman Schultz to resign. I mean, it was obviously the motive of another country to interfere in our election by introducing unfavorable news about the Democrats, namely that they cheated Bernie. Bernie Sanders is at the heart of all of this. He was cheated. He got too close for comfort. I got too close for comfort. I was like, Democrats, how you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. What? Oh, are you okay? No problem? I got some popcorn. No? Okay. It seems, what am I, you don't like my musk cologne? What's going on here? Bernie got too close for comfort. Okay? And he got too close for comfort. And they said, never, ever, 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 ever will you ever become nominee. Never. Never. Don't even think about it. And Bernie said, okay already. My God almighty, okay. But in the process, they said, well, this has to be linked to the Trump campaign. Because there has to be some connection. And we'll just make a connection because we were given a dossier. They literally were given a dossier that had nothing to do with evidence. Nothing. Because James Clapper told Chuck Todd, and I explained this in my upload prior to this live stream, we don't have any evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign, any contacts. We don't have any improper contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian officials. But we're going to investigate from here until the end of time. So they began the Mueller probe, not having any evidence that Trump communicated, not an email, no money trail, no suspects. They said they indicted Russian intelligence officers. Great, based on Company 1. They literally indicted foreign nationals based on a company's assessment that the Democratic Party paid. Then the rebuttal is, well, it was confirmed by the U.S. intelligence agencies. The U.S. intelligence agencies don't state anything with certainty because they don't want to ever get sued. So they say they're confident. And then the media rolls with it. Because John Brennan's like, I don't do evidence, I do intelligence. He literally stated that. So their suspicion was legitimized as they utilized the suspicion of Trump, the belief that he's capable of anything, to investigate without evidence. And that's the institutional bias. So when Michael Horowitz states, well, there was no institutional bias, but we found 30 or 40 examples of rampant misconduct by individuals in an organization that has tens of thousands of people. What he's not telling you is that those individuals run the show. When it came to Trump and Clinton, they ran the show. It's not rocket science. If you're working in a corporation or an office and, there's a rule that says you can't make too many photocopies, and you make more photocopies than other people, but you had to for a specific purpose. And your boss, says, hey, please come into my office. We're going to have to fire you. Why? Well, we have an office rule that you made too many photocopies. But wait a second, I had to because the assistant manager told me that he needed extra copies. Sorry, I hate to do that to you. Gosh, I hate to do that to you. But, we're going to have to let you go. I mean, you did break a rule. You can selectively enforce rules in a bureaucracy. You can arbitrarily enforce rules. You can selectively and arbitrarily do a whole bunch of things because bureaucracies allow you to do that. A bureaucracy or a government agency or a corporation does not, the rules or the guidelines or the mission statement of the bureaucracy or the corporation or the government agency does not take into account the personalities of the people who lead this type of organization. So if you have a whole bunch of checks and balances within this bureaucracy, for example, the Steele dossier was not given to the FISA application was not signed off initially by the person who was supposed to look at applications. It was sent directly both to Sally Yates, who was in the Justice Department, and to Andrew McCabe, who lied 3 times under oath, by the way. Lied 3 times under oath. So, I mean, this is the type of thing that people ignore. And then they go today, and I explained this in my last segment on my upload prior to this live stream. They say, well, we didn't find, John Durham hasn't found any evidence of a setup. Well, what do you expect? It just publicly came into a criminal probe. Sticks, text 10.2, Schlonhammer. Yes. Yes. Yes, thank you so much. And thank you, beautiful photo. Thank you, lovely people. Thank you. And if Sticks ever watches, That's his new name, Sticks 10.2. Yes! Yes! This election is going to be amazing. Thank you, Sticks 10.2. Thank you. Sticks 10.2. Thank you. So, yes. So I do appreciate that very much. Thank you, Sticks 10.2. And, so anyway, I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. And it's $10.20. Yes! What they've done, okay, you have to understand something. The Atlantic has an article, okay? And the article is talking about how the country is being torn apart. And the article is talking about how can we stop this. Okay, so hold on. Great author, wonderful author, very respected publication. And this is I was at the bookstore today, and I was, I bought The Case for Trump by Victor Davis Hanson, and I'm going to read it. It's going to be fantastic. Here we have, it's basically an article, How America Ends. A tectonic demographic shift is underway. Can the country hold together? No, the country's going to be fine. Democrats will eventually, after they lose again, realize they have a political machine run by Madam Secretary, who has a fantastic interview with Howard Stern. And please check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. Do Not Lie. Yeah, that's pretty much how they view it. Unfortunately for the country and the Democratic Party, which is very bizarre that they would do that. The stakes in this battle on the right are much higher than the next election. If Republican voters can't be convinced that Democratic elections will continue to offer them a viable path to victory, that they can thrive within a diversifying nation, and that even in defeat their basic rights will be protected, then Trumpism will extend long after Trump leaves office, and our democracy will suffer for it. What? If Republican voters can't be convinced that Democratic elections will continue to offer them a viable path to victory? The assumption here, and I don't know if I'm making the correct assumption, is that Trump cheated, that he reached out to Russia. The DNC emails are inherent to them. They're inherently an example of the Democratic Party's disdain for corruption, for democracy. They cheated a candidate. They're the ones who rigged their own election, their own primary, and lost. Then they blamed another country. This is what authoritarians do. They blamed others for their loss. So it's just really interesting how they're the ones that lost. They're the ones that cheated. And so, and then prior to that, this is really interesting. Even today, large numbers of conservatives retain their courage of their convictions. Yeah, 90% love Trump, believing they can win with new adherence to their cause. Are you kidding? 30% of Latinos voted for Trump. There will be more Latino and black voters voting for Trump this election. There's record low black and Latino unemployment. They have not despaired of prevailing at the polls, and they are not prepared to abandon moral suasion in favor of coercion. They are fighting to recover their party from a president whose success was built on convincing voters that the country is slipping away from them. No, that's not how Trump won, and this is why Democrats will never win a presidential election again. Well, if Trump against Trump, that's not why Trump won. President Trump won first and foremost because his foreign policy was the antithesis of Clinton's and Max Boot and Bill Kristol's. He wants a scaled-back U.S. foreign policy. We, as a country, foreign policy is not discussed. It was hardly discussed in the Democratic debate. Like, basically, the only person who did was Tulsi Gabbard, and she was ostracized beyond belief. So, these, like, you have their losses. Okay, the Democratic Party's loss has completely warped their brains. They don't understand why Trump won. They've created the belief that Trump won based upon bigotry and negative sentiments, which is not true. They've completely ignored the fact that foreign policy is a key factor in why people vote for Trump. Also, he removed us from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. That, in addition to foreign policy and other things, ties him with both Bernie Sanders and Jill Stein. There are policies that Bernie Sanders and Jill Stein and Trump, so all three of them, didn't want the Trans-Pacific Partnership, wanted a scaled-back U.S. foreign policy, and wanted to address, Bernie Sanders especially, the trade imbalance with China. Okay? This is an issue. These are issues that are not addressed. And so, Democrats and very esteemed writers and authors and journalists they're published in great places like The Atlantic. They're going off on tangents that have nothing to do with why Trump won. Trump won because he offered a different vision in terms of trade, in terms of foreign policy, in terms of, economics. He was able to sell first himself, but he was able to say, I am different from the establishment. We have had two sides of the same coin when it came to Bush and President Obama. I am different. In fact, look at the temper tantrum that media and the establishment in Hollywood have. Look at the temper tantrum they have to me. I am their foil. And so people, first of all, Trump's personality is hilarious. So that's another thing. He has a hilarious personality. I mean, it's a hilarious personality. So it's like, and he fights back, but they don't understand why he won. Also, their entire lives are predicated. The Democratic Party, liberals, on social media is like it's like Tron. It's like a completely altered reality. Their entire lives are predicated upon the belief that if another country interferes in our election, millions of people will vote for Trump. That's not how it works. If another country interferes with Facebook ads that are nonsense, nobody cares. Not one study has been done to explain which Facebook ads swung which voters. Want to know why? Because Facebook would sue. They'd say, no, that's not true. Facebook would actually sue the Democratic Party, which would be hilarious. Not one study, not one estimate. Don't forget a study. There's studies for everything. I want an estimate. Give me, because she won the popular vote. She won the popular vote. Tamra! Go Seahawks, Tamra! They will never abandon their agenda, and the sheep will follow blindly at this point. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Tamra, thank you. No, that's definitely the case. That's why it's going to be so gratifying, vindicating, so amazing in every way possible. My God Almighty. It will be so amazing. So amazing, ladies and gentlemen, when Clinton runs again. Tamra, it will be so amazing. Because what'll happen is they will realize they live in a matrix and they have no free will. I'm telling you right now, everybody, if President Trump had Jeb Bush's foreign policy or Hillary Clinton's foreign policy, which is essentially the same policies in foreign policy, I would not vote for him. I would not talk about him in such glowing terms. I wouldn't be like, the rabid maniacal left, but I don't know what I would do, because I'd probably like Tulsi Gabbard very much, because I need an alternative to Clinton's foreign policy. President Trump is pretty much the antithesis of it at this point. Maybe not completely, but very much so. I think President Trump will go down as one of the great presidents we've had. When you have two terms, he'll go down in history as a very, very good president. And he'll go down in history as actually accomplishing a lot more than Bush and President Obama. A lot more. He's already accomplished more in terms of North Korea. He's already accomplished more. They need to mitigate everything he's ever done. But the thing that I like about Trump is his foreign policy. So Tamara, they're going to vote for Clinton again. They're going to realize that they have no ability, they have no free will, because you have to understand, there are people out there who are being insulted on the left. They're called H.A. Goodman. This is hilarious. They're saying, you're the next H.A. Goodman. You're the next H.A. Goodman. They're going after people using my name to disparage them, which I find actually a source of pride, and I'm pretty hilarious. But you got to understand, being called a Trump supporter on the left is the worst insult you can ever level at anyone. It is literally the worst insult. So they cannot deviate from the script. And the funny thing is, they always project, because then they say, well, Trump voters, he can do anything. But the problem, and they'll still vote for him, the problem is the things he does and the things he says, within the context of why he says them, like going after certain people who go after him first. It's not, whether they're crude or, it's within a political context. And he hasn't said anything close to what Clinton has said in the past. I mean, if I'm ever on CNN or MSNBC again, and anyone says, could you vote for somebody who said these things? And yeah, you want to go there? Let's go there. We'll go there. And I have a litany of things that Madam Secretary has said that you have to understand that others do not know. So you have people that their lives are predicated upon, it's not fair, we lost the election, it's not fair, Trump cheated. Dances reluctantly. Beer money. Yes, thank you. Dances reluctantly. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Dances reluctantly. Hope all is well. Thank you for always watching. This election is going to be absolutely amazing, everybody. This election is going to be absolutely amazing. Dances reluctantly. Thank you. December is going to be like a major, major stepping stone into January of this year, the beginning, well, Clinton's going to run. And obviously she's going to win the nomination. But it is going to be a really, really, this is going to be an election. Willow Dragon, thank you so much. Thank you for staying up. Greatly appreciated. This is going to be an election that transforms not only, well, it won't really transform the country. It will a little bit. But this will be an election that transforms the Democratic Party, moves it away from Clinton and more towards Tulsi Gabbard. More towards, there are two politicians, Democrats, Connor Lamb and Sharice Davids. The past year, I've looked at Democrats and I thought to myself, well, who could be the next? It's nobody on that debate stage. It's nobody on the Democratic Party debate stage, aside from Tulsi, I should say. Tulsi Gabbard offers a choice. She offers a choice because she has similar foreign policy to President Trump, but from a progressive or liberal perspective. The Democrats don't offer anyone a choice. It's either you have to engage in interventions, you have to want the same establishment foreign policy, or you vote Trump. Florida man beer, more beer, thank you, bear, thank you, more beer, yeah, Florida man beer, bear, Florida man bear, thank you, greatly appreciated. Dances reluctantly, thank you. Florida man bear, thank you. I gotta start the H.A. Goodman Beer Fund. Thank you so very, very much, Florida man bear, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Hope all is well. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Madam Secretary is on Howard Stern, and I talk about this on H.A. Goodman's other channel. Thank you again, Florida Man Bear. Thank you. I talk about this on H.A. Goodman's other channel. And, by the way, everybody, I will be doing virtually every night, a live stream around this time. So let everybody know. But I think that it's really going to be interesting when Clinton runs, and I don't know how she's going to enter the contest. I have no clue. But I mean, looking at Biden, I mean, if he's not talking about his legs and lotion, sunscreen, legs, sunscreen, get off my lawn. Oh my God. He calls it oh my God. Oh my God. Joe Biden trades barbs with voter in Iowa. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You heard this here first on the live stream. Ladies and gentlemen. Biden called a voter. No. He called a voter in Iowa. He says, "You're a fill-in-the-blank liar, man, Mr. Biden." That's not true. And no one has ever said that. No one has proved that. Okay, so falsely claimed that Mr. Biden has sent his son to work in Ukraine and accused him of selling access to the president. Okay, so let's say, this is what the conflicts, let's say that's not true. It doesn't matter. This type of behavior, this is the type of behavior from Biden that makes him completely unelectable. You don't go at somebody like that in Iowa, because the headline from the New York, by the way, the New York Times is doing him dirty. Joe Biden trades barbs with voter in Iowa? What? They know. I'm telling you, I've been published in the Huffington Post, the Hill Salon, Federalist, Daily Caller. I'm telling you. They know, the editors know what they're doing. It's the editors. It's not the writers. It's not the people who get the contributors. It's the editors that run the show. I have to pitch to editors. And then if they decide, if they want Carl's opinion. Carl, thank you as always. Hey, Mr. Goodman Maz in chat. Do you think the Democratic Party after 2020 will move towards Tulsi and her friends? Yes. Or AOC and no. And the Justice Democrats. AOC did raise more money. Yes, that's true. Carl's opinion. That's true. Carl's opinion. Thank you. The only problem though is that it's people aren't going to give to Bernie and the subsidiaries of Bernie Inc. They're not going to give to Bernie once he's cheated again, and he's already been cheated. When Bernie, 2 elections in a row, Carl's opinion, backs Madam Secretary, people are going to start asking questions. So he's definitely backing Clinton again in 2020. Carl's opinion, thank you very much. There's a lot more to talk about regarding that. Everyone subscribe, by the way, to Carl's opinion. Bucolic Buffalo! Clinton on Stern because she said she lost for not coming on 2016. Her campaign begins. Exactly. Bucolic Buffalo. That's Howard Stern is like a stepping stone. First of all, Carl's opinion, everybody. Bucolic Buffalo, Carl's opinion, Sticks 10.2. Everybody, okay? Carl, check this out. Everyone, check this out. This is amazing! Look, Joe Biden trades barbs with voter in Iowa. Obviously this would be a conservative voter. This would be a Trump supporter like myself. This would be a person who is, I wouldn't make the allegation like that, but this is a person who says, hey, you probably sent Hunter to work for the Ukraine to sell access to President Obama. I wouldn't say that, okay? But it doesn't matter. The New York Times didn't say, do you understand, everybody? The New York Times didn't say Joe Biden trades barb. This is just now 13 minutes ago. Joe Biden trades barb with a voter in Iowa. You're a fill-in-the-blank liar. This is horrendous coverage. This is beyond negative coverage. This is horrendous coverage. Horrendous coverage for Biden. And the editors of the New York Times know exactly what they're doing to Biden. They know exactly what they're doing. Joe Biden trades barbs with voter in Iowa. They would say, if this was, and then you're a fill in the blank liar. If this was Clinton and she said the same thing, the editors at the New York Times would phrase it, the headline, in this manner: Clinton defends against claim without evidence. Something along those lines. Clinton defends against already discredited claims at Iowa. Like it would be in the title of the article would be more favorable. Do you understand, everybody? I mean, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. So, Bucolic Buffalo, in the New York Times, in addition to Howard Stern, I mean, Carl's opinion, the machine relies on Bernie and, all the different subsidiaries of Bernie's movement, which has now become a bowel movement. So Carl's opinion, that the belief in a Medicare for all, they're going to realize eventually that there's nobody that's really going to, go after it. In Carl's opinion, you wrote something the other day. Shokin was actively investigating corruption, Burisma, when Biden began pushing for him to get fired. He had just seized the owner's house, Rolls-Royce, plane, etc. Exactly. A month prior. Exactly. So there you go. Carl's opinion. The writing's already on the wall. In fact, Marie Yovanovitch had already stated that she was given talking points regarding conflicts of interest. So, I mean, they already did themselves in. Tamra! In fairness, Biden does Biden to Biden. Yeah, he does Biden to Biden. He does Biden to Biden. Hey, this is amazing. Tamra, exactly what you're saying. Okay, this is New York Times. Joe Biden trades barbs with voter in Iowa. You're a fill-in-the-blank liar. Shortly after John Kerry, the former Secretary of State, endorsed Mr. Biden, oh, that's funny, in the 2020 Democratic primary, the former vice president had a heated confrontation with a voter. If they want to discredit people, they don't call them voter. They call them, they'll say a protester or whatever. They'll say something, not voter. So, New Hampton, Iowa, former Vice President Joseph R. Biden on Thursday angrily lashed out. See, again, do you understand if it was Madam Secretary, it would be with the vindication of Zeus or or Aphrodite? Oh, Lord. What's going on? No.
I've flown a 737 since I came to Boeing.
Oh, my God. That was scary. That was the New York Times. Anyway, Sticks 10.2 just to make it out at you and $15. Peace out. Thank you, Sticks 10.2. Schlonghammer. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Sticks 10.2, Carl's opinion. Bucolic Buffalo and Tamra. Check this out. It's amazing. Joe Biden trades barbs with a voter in Iowa. What? This is the best we have? What's Joe Biden doing now? New Hampton, Iowa. Former Vice President Joseph R. Biden on Thursday angrily lashed out at a voter who questioned his son's overseas business dealings at a campaign stop in Iowa, calling the man, a voter, a fill-in-the-blank liar in an unusually heated exchange. Oh, it's done. Clinton, we're waiting. Carl's opinion. Thank you, Carl's opinion, as always. Thank you. Everyone subscribe to Carl's opinion. He has an amazing channel. And unlike me, he knows how to utilize technology. Mr. Goodman, it gets worse. MSNBC covered Biden on each of their hour-long shows tonight, including Brian Williams. Brian had a guest on his show who was critical of Biden not having an answer to the question about his son. Exactly. Oh my God. Exactly. Carl's opinion. Exactly. And this is an amazing thing we're seeing. We are seeing, these people deserve Academy Awards. These people deserve Academy Awards. Carl and Tamra and Sticks 10.2. These people deserve Academy Awards. Because I can tell you right now, it's going to take a lot of money for me to say the things that Biden says in a theatrical performance, in a gigantic, fabricated political stunt. Hey, sunscreen, legs, huh? I mean, it doesn't stop. So, I mean, they're totally... Oh. I missed. Did I miss this? Did I miss Super Chat? Oh. Sheldon Hofstadter, thank you. Good morning from Prague. Thank you so very much for watching. Thank you. Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you for always watching, Sheldon. Thank you. Greatly, greatly appreciated. I mean, if you're in Prague, if you're anywhere in the world, I'm so thankful, and thank you for watching. Good morning from Prague, and good morning to you. Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you very much, Sheldon. Thanks, Eric, for letting me know. This is how you have to read the New York Times, okay? This is how you have to read every article on Biden, okay? And then I'll read the article on Biden, and then I'll read it the way they would have written it if it was Madam Secretary, okay? Okay. Let's start. Joe Biden trades barbs with a voter, an honest, good voter in Iowa. You're a fill-in-the-blank liar. Shortly after John Kerry, the former Secretary of State, endorsed Mr. Biden in the 2020 Democratic primary, the former vice president had a heated confrontation with a voter. But shouldn't you be nice to voters? I mean, I thought you should be nice to voters. Why is he doing this? Why can't he be nice to voters? I mean, we're going to have the Orange Menace for 8 years. He's not nice to voters. We're using the word voters. Oh, we're using the word voters. Why isn't he nice to voters? New Hampton, Iowa. Former Vice President Joseph R. Biden on Thursday angrily lashed out at a voter, a good, honest Iowan voter, who questioned his son's overseas business dealings at a campaign stop in Iowa, calling the man a you-know-what liar in an unusually heated exchange. The man, who declined to identify himself to reporters, falsely claimed that Mr. Biden has sent his son to work in Ukraine and accused him of, quote, selling access to the president. You're a you-know-what, fill-in-the-blank liar, man, Mr. Biden shot back. That's not true, and no one has ever said that. No one has proved that. Why would you say nobody has proved that, and then after no one has ever said that? Nobody has ever said it, and even if they said it, they couldn't prove it, right? This is hilarious. This is hilarious. Valerie Rogers! Craig, really. Valerie, I agree with you. Thank you. And then it goes on, it gets worse. Before raising that issue, he said Mr. Biden was too old for the job to be for us. And then Biden suddenly said, I'm not sedentary. Okay. The reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know. What? And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. Well, that's really makes me want to, I don't know, do nothing. He went on to encourage the man to do push-ups or go running with him or take an IQ test with him. And the room applauded. He went on to encourage the man to do push-ups. Okay. Or go running with him. Yeah. I'd like to see that. Or take an IQ test with him. Something tells me anyone who took an IQ test with Biden would score higher. And the room applauded. At another point, he appeared to say, Look, fat. Look, here's the deal. What? Later Thursday, Mr. Biden said he had not said fat. Facts. He said facts. That's so funny. He called the man fat, but really he said facts with a C. You know, like information. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's hilarious. Look, facts. The man eventually told Biden he would not be voting for him, and then Biden said, "Well, I knew you weren't, man." I love how Biden always he tries to be hip. You want to meet me? You want to meet me outside, man? For this remake of Romeo and Juliet? Yeah, man. I'm hip to your game, man. I'm hip to your game. You think I thought you'd stand up and vote for me? And he goes, Biden says, you're too old to vote for me? What does that mean? Afterwards, the man said he was an 83-year-old retired farmer. Oh my God, Biden gets into it with a farmer? He should, respect the person, and this is Iowa. But he's declined to give his names to reporters. He says, okay. And he's a Democrat, too. He said Elizabeth Warren was his top choice. That's hilarious. So he's going after a Democrat. Facts. The moment captured Mr. Biden appearing to lose his cool when questioned about his son, a topic Mr. Trump is sure to press him on. Oh my God, this is so hilarious. This is so hilarious. Okay, now, Super Channel Awesome, exactly. Behind the J, exactly. This is how it would be if Clinton met the same man. Madam Secretary, in a heavenly and divine intervention of wordsmith loveliness, gently explain to a belligerent possible Trump supporter who claimed without evidence that, Uranium One gave money into the Clinton Foundation and therefore that helped with the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity, said, you are a person who's not telling the truth. And then New Hampton, Iowa, former Secretary of State, Senator, and one of the most admired women who have ever lived, even more than Joan of Arc, Hillary Rodham Clinton, on Thursday politely, yet with the intent to correct the record, explained to a belligerent man who questioned her Clinton Foundation, her donations from Uranium One, which has already been debunked by Snopes. It's never happened. In fact, the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity never happened either. Nothing ever happened. Absolutely nothing. Bucolic Buffalo! Biden has appearance of... Bucolic Buffalo, thank you. So, Frank Durbin. Frank Durbin. Oh my God, I love Frank Durbin. Oh yes. Oh, can I tell you how much I love those films? Oh my God. You know what? He does. Bucolic Buffalo, thank you. Exactly. Kaiser, exactly. Look, there's going to be a moment. I don't know whether if Biden streaks without his clothes off on a street in Iowa just to prove his vitality. If you mean everybody, no clothes. I don't know what it's gonna be. But it's gonna be something. Cause this is not happening. There is no way. Let's assume that Clinton doesn't win want to run. Let's assume that she just doesn't want to run. She's just on the Howard Stern to just, sell books and. At this point right now, if I were a Democrat, first of all, she'll lose to Trump, which is going to be absolutely hilarious. But if I were a Democrat, I would demand that Hillary Clinton run for president. I would demand. I'm saying demand. Now, of course, it's going to. Obliterate the Democratic Party, but that's fine. The only chance they have is with Clinton. Literally the only chance they have. Literally the only chance they have to win. Literally the only chance they have to win, ladies and gentlemen. The only chance Democrats have to win is with Hillary Clinton. The only chance. I mean, are they going to roll the dice with Biden? I think not. Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, I mean, I do my shtick, it's like, oh, Warren, they're smiling in your face all the time. They want to take your place. Look at that. Wow. That's fantastic. Thanks for showing courage and integrity. In 2016, Warren, when you, in a very, very warm and courageous moment, endorsed my campaign to start a revolution. Oh, that's right, you didn't not. You didn't endorse me, did you? That's interesting. And now you're running to divide my movement in half before President Obama says that he would intervene if I ever got close. Wow, that's really fantastic of you. What a nice human being you are, Warren. Exactly, Ron. Hillary can be Biden's vice president. Oh my gosh, Bucolic Buffalo, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Thank you so very much. Bucolic Buffalo, Carl's Opinion, Tamra, everyone, thank you so very, very much. This was a great live stream. Thank you, and have a great evening. I'll be back tomorrow. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. People, it is heating up. It is heating up, ladies and gentlemen. H.A. Goodman's other channel. Let's get it to 20,000 subs, people. Thank you so very much, everyone. Have a great